What up, what up, what up? Real Fans Podcast, back at it again. I'm here with your boy, Julian. I'm your host, Gabe. Hey, man, we're talking about the NFC conference semifinal. We're here. I don't know how you feel about this conference in general. I feel like, I'm going to be rooting for probably one of these teams to go, if they make it to the Super Bowl. One of these teams are probably going to be my favorite. Like I said, I'm a Dolphin fan. I don't like the AFC, so I'm going to hate it for any AFC team that's not the Dolphins. But how do you feel about the Commanders made it all the way through? I see they're like the Cinderella team of this conference and facing the Eagles going forward. How do you feel about this matchup?
Dude, this is like, honest. If somebody would have told me, I tell you what, Gabe, when we did our prediction video earlier this season, did either of us have the Commanders not only making the playoffs, but making it to NFC Championship game? I would have never guessed in a million years, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be a rebuild year. They just drafted. What did they pick? Second overall? I did not. To go to second overall to NFC Championship game, shout out to the organization, the way they've been able to turn it around. I saw somebody say that the Commanders, after 20 years of rebuilding, they made it to an NFC Championship game before the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
And I just started.
A damn shame.
That's hilarious. But I do want to briefly talk about the Commanders and the Lions game real quick. What a shootout of a game. And you know what? His performance was lights out. And his performance all year long has been absolutely lights out. I mean, there's a serious argument to be said. Is this probably the best rookie performance in NFL history? I mean, to do what he has done has been amazing. It's definitely up there, if not the best. He definitely has a conversation, especially if they win this next game against the Eagles. I mean, you took down a Lions team that has been unbeatable all season long, who's made no mistakes. And in this game, they threw 4 picks. And that was kind of the big turning point for this game. Is the turnovers is what killed the Detroit Lions. And also just letting them get gashed through the run game. I mean, almost 200 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns rushing. I don't know. It felt like the Lions team got replaced with the Generals from the Harlem Globetrotters. I don't know what happened. They completely fell apart when it mattered the most. I don't know if it was the week off. I always have a feeling that sometimes the week off can throw teams off, not getting that certain rhythm and the momentum. And it felt like the Commanders, they've been all momentum. They've been moving. I mean, you can say they maybe got a little lucky in the Bucs game because of the fumble between Baker. That made it tough. But at the end of the day, it seemed like every time, and including that Tampa Bay game, the Commanders had a chance. They got an opportunity. They've taken full advantage of it. And that's what you do. That's what good teams do. That's what good players do, is take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you, because every single turnover, they made the most of it, whether it be kicking a field goal or scoring a touchdown. And I just want to say, too, thank God Terry McLaurin finally has somebody to throw him the ball. This guy's been super underrated for years. No one talks about him. He's just been slowly. I thought he was going to leave Washington at some point eventually, but he stuck around and he finally got the quarterback he's long needed. And man, this Commanders team, they're fun and exciting, and bro, they have nothing to lose. And when a team has nothing to lose because no one expected anything from them, those are when they're the most dangerous. Versus when you look at the other side of the aisle, you have the Philadelphia Eagles, who everybody expected them to be one of the top contenders out of the NFC. That had a really good season this year. And, there's a lot of pressure riding on them. They're going to be having the home game. The odds right now are pretty strong in their favor. It is, okay, I don't know why it's not coming up, but it is 6.5. There it is. Plus 6.5 for the Washington Commanders, minus 6.5 from the Philadelphia Eagles. But Gabe, before we get into our predictions, what do you think of this Commanders run? And then also give me a little bit of your insight on the Philly Eagles.
I mean, I feel like the Commanders, this is, like I said, they feel like a Cinderella team to me. As far as, Jaden Daniels, I'm not going to say he's the best. Maybe he's in the conversation with the best rookie season. Cam Newton was still spectacular. He was a star. That was his best year.
Did Cam Newton make it to a conference championship?
Man, he was spectacular, dude. He was incredible. So I'm going to give him flowers on that. But he is having a great year. I think, I do like Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels does these things twice or 2 or 3 times a game where he'll have like a one-on-one matchup with McLaurin on the outside, and he's just gonna toss it up. He's just like, I'm gonna time it up. I see I got man one-on-one over there. I'm just gonna time it up, take a couple steps, lob it over, and McLaurin's gonna bring it down. Or there's another catch where it was double coverage. It was a cross over the middle, going over to the right side, and he was kind of like looking at him, timing it up, dumping it, throwing it deep. And that is admirable. Like that, I wish I had that in a quarterback of mine, where he's kind of fearless. He does run. It scares me when he does run, just because his body type. His leg look a little skinny. He doesn't. Maybe he'll thicken up maybe as his career progresses. It does scare me, but he can run, and I feel like he does well. Like even though he's under pressure, sometimes he can feel the pocket and he just kind of moves. He looks like he plays kind of like a veteran.
It's decision making, and that to me, that's been the biggest standout, is that his decision making is veteran like, which is, somebody said it too, was like the veteran made rookie mistakes, but then the rookie made veteran moves, because that's how you expected Jared Goff to play.
Yeah,
is to make these clear cut decisions. These are who I'm going to, moving efficiently, and that's something I've always found super admirable from what he's done, is not so much the physical attributes of what he's been able to do with his legs or crazy throws or whatever. It's just consistently making the right choices.
Yeah.
Like that's been huge.
I love the attitude, man. Bleep it. Terry's down there somewhere. He's just going to toss it up. So, he's playing well. And like I said, this was like a Cinderella team. Obviously they get back, what's his name? Eckler's been down. I think he was out for the concussion protocol, but since he's been coming back, he's been healthier, been playing well. So, this feels like, as far as like underdog, like a team to root for, Commanders is definitely an underdog you can root for. But you got to give props to the Eagles. The Eagles have been a dominant team. I think they ended 14-3. They've been playing very well. I didn't get a chance. They were I think they were a little bit shaky in the beginning, but they beat good teams. They beat the Steelers. They beat the Ravens. These are like playoff teams, playoff eligible teams. And, I think my gut is telling me that the Eagles should win this game. Now, Jalen Hurts, he played well. I think he got injured. He was knocked out of the game for a little bit, but he was able to finish the game. I got to look at the injury report. I think I had it pulled up. Let me see if I can find the injury report in the meanwhile.
What scares me, and I'm looking at these box scores from the Philly Rams game. 7 sacks, 63 yards lost. Offensive line's got to step it up and hold it down. But one thing I will say that the offensive line is doing one hell of a job in the run game, because Saquon is playing out of his mind this season. And then that didn't stop this past weekend with 205 yards. I mean, that viral clip went around where they're talking about how the Giants paid Daniel Jones, but they didn't pay him. And I tell you what, I didn't think Saquon would be the same guy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I always thought after the injuries that he was suffering from multiple years in a row, the tear, I was like, man, I don't know. But I mean, a 2,000 yard season, like you don't see that all the time. Like you don't see that every year. Like what he's been able to do. I mean, he's been the heart and soul of that offense. It feels like the
craziest play of the season, the craziest play I've ever seen in my life. Matt doesn't even have a move for it. I'm talking about the backwards butt jump.
Oh, trust me. That happened against my Jacksonville Jaguars. I saw that live. And I'm like, my God, what the hell? But yeah, let's get into the predictions themselves. Like I said, we have the spread plus 6.5, Eagles minus 6.5 at home. I'm gonna hit it off with you, Gabe, first. Who do you got, and what do you like about this spread?
I mean, my gut is telling me to go with the favorite. Obviously, Philly's playing at home. They've been playing well. I think they are a stronger team. I think if you look at talent on paper, I think it's Eagles all the way. Although I want to give Commanders their props. They do have a talent. This is regardless if they win or lose. I think Commanders are having a successful year. I think the storyline is about Dan Snyder. The changing of the throne with Dan Snyder leaving. There's a lot of coaching changes, a lot of new players coming in, and it feels like they're trying to build a new coach over there. So regardless if they win or lose, I think Commanders are.
They need to build a new stadium.
Yeah. But I feel like Philly's going to pull it out. I feel like Philly's the favorite. They're a strong favorite. I have them going forward. I'm looking at the weather. Weather should be good. It looks like it should be cloudy, about 40 degrees, 2% precipitation. So it shouldn't be as bad as it was last time. I feel like this last game, they were going to the run game a lot because of the snow. Obviously, like after the second quarter, it started snowing real hard. So
it started dropping. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the weather should be good. But I'm gonna go Phillies, man. Phillies 7 or more. I think that's a fair. But I feel like the line might change though. They might make it a little tighter going forward. But give me Philly.
Yeah, I think the line might change too, especially looking at the odds. I mean, the Commanders are minus 120 versus the Eagles was minus 102. So a lot of people are hitting that Eagles line. Um, I'm with you here. I think I just like what I've seen from Philly defensively. I think they've been a little bit more consistent in that part of the team. I think Commanders, while they've been pretty much immaculate in the offense for most of the season, I do think at the end of the day, they did allow 31 points against the Detroit Lions, even after all those turnovers. And the defense does worry me. And that would worry me if I'm a Commanders fan. So I'm gonna go Philly here. But I will say this though, I will take the Commanders on that 6.5 because I do think this game is going to be pretty close. I think it might come down to the wire. It might be a 5-point game. But yeah, I think Philly, their experience, they've been here. They were here just 2 years ago. I think they really want it. I think Sirianni. It just feels like in games like this, when you're at home, you have the experience on your side. You're running the ball like crazy. You've been playing well defensively. I mean, this is a Rams team. They only held this Rams team to 22 points, and this is a Rams offense that has played really well. And towards the end of that game, they're making Darius Slay was making big plays to break up passes and stuff. So I think because of the Philly defense, I'm going to take them to win this game, but I do think it's going to be close. And I will say in my heart, I'm going to be rooting for the Commanders because we all know how Philly fans can be. Everybody wants them to lose because of how they are. But let's talk about the over-under real quick. 47.5 over-under. You like this?
Man, my feeling is it's going to be the under. I feel like the Commanders are going to be held to low points. I got the Phillies winning. Man, I feel like I'm going to go under. Maybe it might be like 44, 45. But I think I'll go on the under on this.
Really? Yeah. I would have thought you would have gone up. I'm gonna go over. I think it's going to be a little higher than that. I think it's going to be pretty similar to maybe what we saw with this Rams-Eagles game, like 28, 22. I think it might hit like just 50 points total. So, yeah, me personally, I feel like the over is a must hit. But you got it under. I mean, we'll see, I guess. We'll see. Sometimes when you think games are going to be shootouts, they end up being snooze fest. So, who knows? But anyways, I want to thank you guys for making it to the end of this video. I greatly appreciate it. If you guys want to see our predictions in the AFC Championship game, please check that out on our homepage for our channel. And yeah, if you're listening to audio platforms, please feel free to give a rating or a like or follow, whatever it might be. You know what to do. But yeah, we will catch you guys next week for the Super Bowl. Peace out, everybody.